Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Dr. Angelika Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. Today let's take a look at how you can heal oral thrush with natural and effective therapeutic tools. Did you know that your tongue is one of the strongest muscles in the body? It's actually the most sensitive place of our sense of touch, how we taste and swallow food, and even how we speak. According to the principles of traditional Chinese medicine, the tongue plays an important role in determining health conditions. So enjoy this video. To stay updated with more ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and families, and don't forget to click that bell as it notifies you every time I upload a new video. And thank you so much for your thumbs ups and likes. So what is oral thrush, or having a white tongue? A healthy tongue is usually pink in color, and it's covered with papillae, which are small nodules that are on the surface of the tongue. They have quite a rough texture. And when your tongue appears white, that means food debris or bacteria or dead cells have now lodged themselves between this inflamed papilla. White tongue is usually quite harmless, can be temporarily, but it can also be an indication for some infections or more serious conditions. The causes are usually dehydration, poor oral hygiene, maybe some illness and infection. You maybe have a dry mouth, there can be fever involved. Others can have a reaction to certain medications, maybe antibiotics or steroids. If the fungal infection not just happens in your mouth, but is more systemic, you maybe experience Candida albicans or yeast infection within the body. Women then have vaginal thrush. If you abuse or use too much tobacco or smoking or alcohol, that could be a reason. But also if you love too spicy food, consuming too many habaneros or jalapenos peppers, that can cause a white tongue. Or it can be an indication for congenital heart disease. The most common cause of white tongue is usually dehydration and therefore a dry mouth, which is of course a breeding ground for the bacteria. Therefore it's very important that you diligently brush your teeth at least twice a day. White tongue can be often also due to Candida overgrowth. It's a fungus that causes yeast infection or oral thrush. It's quite normal to have, fungus Candida to live in our mouth, but if it accumulates too much, it can affect the roof of your mouth, your tongue, your tonsils, your gums. And then you have this white tongue. Maybe you also experience white lesions on the inside of your cheek. It can be redness and even bleeding involved. If Candida is the cause, you also might experience other symptoms. Maybe extreme fatigue, brain fog, and also your skin and nail will show that something isn't working here. The most commonly occurring thrush is therefore oral thrush next to vaginal thrush. And the main symptoms of oral thrush is usually these white creamy patches or lesions on the tongue or the inner cheeks, along with a moist mouth, but I've seen dry mouth as well. Thrush usually occurs in people whose immunity has been weakened due to disease, to drug use, but also to stress. It's also common, as I said, in people who have been under lots of antibiotics, birth control. Even pregnant women can experience oral thrush. Overuse of medication really disturbs the microorganism and the bowel flora. And oral thrush has a direct link with a disturbed digestive system. But sometimes white tongue can be also an indication for something else, particularly if it cannot be scraped off or you've tried all the antifungal treatments and nothing worked. Maybe you have strep throat. Maybe there's a bacterial infection happening. Maybe you have to check with your dentist, there's periodontal disease. It could be also an indication for chronic autoimmune disorder like lichen planus, leukoplakia, where the cells in the mouth grow excessively, or a geographic tongue. You have these reddish spots on the tongue with a white border around. All of these conditions, of course, then require medical attention. Now, in traditional Chinese medicine, tongue coating is one of the most important foundations of tongue diagnosis. It plays an important role in determining and treating health issues. Now, according to the principles of traditional Chinese medicine, the tongue coating is formed by the evaporation of stomach qi. It's like a vital energy. And it's therefore closely related to conditions to the body organs, to the body fluid, but also your blood. And it's believed that changes of the tongue coating can't be therefore separated from the inner environment of the body. Tongue coating is caused by processes of the spleen and the stomach. And the tongue coating changes rapidly, and obviously in the development maybe of gastritis or an inflamed stomach, or even if mentally and emotionally your stomach was affected. So a thick white coating of the tongue reveals a lot about your digestive system and overall health. A thick white coating on the back or at the center of the tongue may be a sign of an overloaded digestive system. And this can be caused by an imbalance of the good bacteria in the gut, nutritional deficiencies, but also stress. And now I want to share with you a little personal story and why I made this video today. Over the last 4 weeks, I went through a stressful period, and you have noticed maybe that the last 2 weeks I did not upload a video. The reason why is I had oral thrush, and I couldn't speak. My mouth was so dry, I couldn't get a word out. And this was caused partly because I did a detoxification program, so it was a reaction to it, but also because of the stress I went through. I'm trying to sell my property, and I'm still in the process, but the first 4 weeks were really, really difficult, to the point that I felt very anxious, worried, and my whole digestive system started to be affected. And within 2 weeks, I started having dry mouth to the point that I knew something was off. And in the second part of this video, when I share with you the food for thought, you will be enlightened that there's a story behind it. And this story of particularly the core essence of lack of support really resonated with my heart. And that's exactly the cause why I created Oral Thrush. But I also have the good news that I knew now how to heal it. And that's why I want to share this video with you today. If you're interested in a health consultation, either for yourself and your children, contact me at Medica Nova at health@medicanova.net. Medica Nova is my practice for integrated and educational medicine. We offer a unique blend of natural and cutting-edge therapeutic tools from homeopathy, iridology, sclerology, systemic herbology, advanced biofeedback, and health and wellness coaching, and so much more. So book your appointment today. Let's move on to our second part of this video, food for thought, or the metaphysical meaning. As with all of my videos, I want to inspire you to go a little bit within, to review your situation, your life situation, your environment, your loved ones, your work situation. You know, what is out of place? What is out of alignment here, which causes your body to break down? I always refer to Jack Martell's references, and he says thrush is a disease due to a yeast, and it's characterized by the presence of creamy white plaques caused by parasites on the oral and pharyngeal mucous membranes, namely in the mouth and the throat. Thrush can happen in babies quite commonly, and so they have difficulties then sucking on the breast. It's quite painful. So he refers to this stage. It says, it appears following the incessant screams and crying of my child, who desires to receive caresses and physical contact with us, her parents. If I put myself in the child's place, especially a baby's, I remember that I need the contact with my mother or my father to feel safe and out of danger. For I know that I'm vulnerable. The only way I have to seek my parents' attention and have them take me in their arm is for me to scream or to cry. It is the only way to gorge myself on human warmth. As my parents can wrongly interpret these cries and believe that I'm just hungry, thirsty, or cold, I won't obtain what I need. And my larynx, the essential organ of phonation, being incapable of filling my need for physical contact, will trigger thrush. For the thrush to go away, my parents need to hug me in their arms as often as possible, caress me, and make me feel secure. When thrush appears in me as an adult, it may have occurred following an infection in my lungs or my airways. My needs are then the same as those of the child mentioned, with the difference that it is now my inner child who needs to be given attention and made to feel safe. I feel great emptiness and I experience melancholy. The adult part of me can comfort this child in me and reassure it. Harmony will settle more steadily, which will allow health to resume its place. And as an adult, I have difficulty in making my needs heard, and I feel incapable of communicating what I feel. I want them to know what I need. I want them to be able to guess, and this is not how it happens, so I'm then very frustrated, even aggressive. Everything is blurred for me and I don't know in which direction to go. Making decisions is very difficult for me, and I have the impression of remaining in place instead of developing. Yet I know that I have all the necessary potential for implementing my projects. So what would be the positive affirmation? I accept to acknowledge my potential, and I put things forward in order to enact all this inner power in the physical world. I'm now able to show all my gentleness and understanding while daring to fully live my life. It was really an enlightening 4 weeks for me to realize that I have the power to get in contact with my inner child, to support my inner child, to really be the parent for myself, and therefore heal my white tongue. Of course, I applied natural treatments, which I will share with you in a minute. But I think the emotional and mental core issues are actually the starting point and the foundation of permanent healing. So if you want to explore more about yourself, your wellness vision, what motivates you and how to apply your strengths qualities in achieving the very best of you, then contact Medica Nova Wellness Coaching at health@medicanova.net for your 3 months coaching program. I am coaching you to be well. Let's move on to our natural treatments. Well, I started my protocol with probiotics in the morning. If there's an imbalance of a healthy bacteria in your gut, which can lead to oral thrush, probiotics is a good place to start with. Also switch to probiotic foods. It helps to balance the bacteria in your gut and any related candida issues. Also use baking soda. It has the ability to exfoliate the tongue, removing any residues that causes the white tongue. Also neutralizes the pH, the acid in your body and also on the tongue. Also, if you have a streptococcus or strep throat, that would be a good aid to bring in as well. So you're mixing a teaspoon of baking sodas with lemon juice, make a paste on it, and then add it to your toothbrush and brush your tongue and your mouth several times a day. If you want to go into the Ayurvedic medicine healing toolbox, I highly recommend coconut oil pulling. It's the best way to remove all bacteria from the mouth It's an ancient detoxification protocol, not just for the mouth, but for the entire system. Because the tongue in itself has, or each section of the tongue is actually related to the different body parts. And so when you do coconut oil pulling, you're not just pulling the bacteria out of the mouth, but also the entire body. So the oil sucks the debris and toxins out of your mouth and creates therefore a clean and antiseptic environment. It's quite absorbable, and therefore it also has the power to kill Candida. It's not an easy procedure, so it's not for everyone, but I want to share that with you. So you want to get a tablespoon of organic coconut oil and you swish it in your mouth for 10 to 20 minutes. That's usually difficult for people, but you need the time to really get the toxins out. And then you spill the oil in the trash, not down in the water. Rinse your mouth with water and brush your teeth. You want to also, an Ayurvedic device is a tongue scraper, which is a practice where you literally scrape your tongue. That could be added to it as well. If you don't want to do any of that, I recommend sea salt, right? Bring it in with some water. It definitely includes antibacterial activities here and eliminates maybe bacteria and debris that causes the white tongue. I also used aloe vera gel, which was really helpful here because it was cooling the tongue. Aloe vera gel or juice, it contains antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory properties, and it also contains enzymes that help to remove the dead cells and promote the regeneration of the skin tissue. I took a tablespoon of aloe vera gel, mixed it up with some water and just swished it around my mouth several times a day. If your immune system is very stressed, you maybe want to bring in some colloidal silver. Again, it's known for antibacterial, antifungal properties. And to get rid of it, with the white tongue, I would say swish a tablespoon of colloidal silver with equal parts of water. About 3 to 5 minutes, maybe twice daily. That would help as well. Remember I mentioned that in traditional Chinese medicine, a white tongue refers to an evaporation of stomach qi, and therefore your spleen is involved, your stomach, but also your body fluids, and your blood is involved here as well. So I recommend garlic. It's quite helpful because it cleanses the blood. So if you want to do raw garlic or garlic capsules on a daily basis, that would help as well to deeply clean your blood. Others were on oregano oil, and I used oregano oil in my protocol as well. Of course, it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic even. It's an antioxidant. And it contains great anti-inflammatory properties, but it's very strong. So I mixed it up with water, a few drops, and I used it to swish around my mouth, and it helped beautifully. If you are aware that you not just experience oral thrush, but also candida throughout your body, please bring in the Amazonian herb Podarco, which is a great aid here. It's for any fungal proliferations within the body. It has anti-inflammatory properties, and it literally can kill candida overgrowth in the body. And you want to put in 2 cups of the bark. You can buy that online, to 4 cups of water, and you want to boil it and then let it sort of sit there for 20 minutes, let it cool down for an hour, and then you sort of strain the water and drink sort of small quantities several times a day. I would say at least for a month. So for our third part of this video, I would like to bring in homeopathic remedies, because this is really the ultimate treatment protocol. Why? Because homeopathic remedies will actually not only boost the immune system, but actually will prevent the reoccurrence of the oral thrush. Of course, homeopathic remedies are made of natural substances, they're well proven, and as I said, they're not only stimulate the immune system, and we want that because with oral thrush often the immune system is already depleted, but it also really sets the foundation for true healing, lasting healing. And of course homeopathic remedies don't have side effects. The top grade remedies here are borax, mercurius solubilis and helonius, but let's dive into the subject and go a little bit more deeper. Usually for adults, I would say the potency, which is the number behind the name you can get in your health food stores. I would say potency 30, maybe 2 to 3 times a day. Try it out for 2 weeks. But if you have any questions, please contact my practice Medica Nova at health@medicanova.net to book your appointment. And if you have a baby, you maybe want to go into the potency 6, the number behind the name, or 30, but then applied less frequently, maybe only once a day. So the first remedy is borax 30. It's a well-indicated remedy for thrush where you see this white fungus growth, especially in babies and children. So the inner cheeks have this white patches, or it's on the tongue, and when you touch these patches you can't wipe them off. That is a clear indication that there is fungus, and borax is a wonderful remedy here. Usually the patient complains of a hot mouth, maybe there's severe tenderness, so babies can't suckle easily on the nipple. This thrush can maybe easily bleed upon touching, and there's also this bitter taste in the mouth. So borax for babies, I would say borax 30, 1 tablet only, maybe for 3 or 5 days. See if that works. As soon as improvement sets in, stop. Don't give any more tablets. But as in doubt, contact me at health@medicanova.net or contact your healthcare practitioner. Mercurius solubilis 30 is another great remedy. As I said, all these remedies you can get hold of in your health food store or online. Here you see more the increased saliva, there's a moist mouth, the tongue may be yellow coating, the sort of gums are quite spongy and inflamed. There can be maybe offensive sort of mouth odor coming out, along with the soreness of the gums. Mercurius solubilis is a great remedy here. On the other hand, if you experience sharp pain, splinter-like pains with oral thrush, the remedy would be nitric acid. You probably by then have canker sores, or canker sores which are very sensitive, they're very painful and have this sort of splinter-like sensations. Usually the tongue can be clean, but there can be patches in the center of the tongue. If there is, as I said, yeast infection within the body, I usually then bring in a remedy called Candida albicans. You will not get that in the health food store. You would have to order it online. It's literally made from the Candida yeast. And if you have chronic white lesions or patches in the mouth, generally on the inner cheeks or on the tongue, Candida albicans, I would say potency 200, maybe 1 tablet weekly. Maybe for 4 to 6 weeks would help really tremendously. And you can even take the borax on a daily basis, but then Candida albicans 200, 1 tablet weekly, to just boost this whole situation even further in the direction towards complete healing. I would say this would be the way to go. Of course, we have other remedies in homeopathy, especially indicated for vaginal thrush, like pulsatilla, where we have this white, creamy, thick vaginal discharge. Helonias where we have extreme itchiness happening. Sepia is another remedy where you have this yellowish discharge which occurs in big lumps. There's a lot of itching involved. But for this video, we want to just focus on oral thrush. So I would say borax is a wonderful remedy to think about next to applying the natural treatment protocols and changing your bowel flora. You will get that because I did too. So I hope this video packed with educational information and useful guidelines has given you some inspiration that there are other solutions out there which are equally effective than the antifungal treatments. And if you have any questions about the suggested treatment protocols or homeopathic remedies, contact my practice Medica Nova at health@medicanova.net, or have a look at my website medicanova.net at the online academy. If you're interested in learning about homeopathy applied during pregnancy, birth and postnatal care, if you want to learn about health and wellness coaching, integrated mental health, quantum healing and so much more, then explore the home study online courses. They're university standard. I teach them for years and I love to share them with you. So take care till next time. Much love.